Hey guys, it's Morgan, and today's video is going to be a follow-up to my last video. So I kind of put together a little emergency makeup kit, something that you could just go to the drugstore and throw together really cheap. So if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link to it down below and you can see what my emergency picks were and how I saved some money on those. So this video is basically going to be me applying those products to my face, and it's kind of a little talk through first impressions type of video because I haven't tried a lot of this, so I'll be able to give you my feedback. Anyways, let's just get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and prime my face. This is the Benefit Professional, and this is actually just a tried and true favorite of mine. I already know I love this stuff, it's amazing. So the tiniest bit of this stuff goes a super long way. I just have this much, and that's honestly probably a little bit too much. My pores are the biggest right here on my cheeks and across my nose, and I kind of just like to press it in on my chin, on my forehead. And then I just take a little bit all over just to kind of smooth out my face and give my foundation something to stick to. Oh, and by the way, I'm totally filming this on my phone because I brought my camera, but I definitely left the charger at home. I am the queen of forgetting things this week. So now that that's all pressed in, I'm going to go in with something I've never tried before, and that's this NYX HD Studio Photogenic Eyeshadow Base. I usually use the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Base, I think that's what it's called. This actually looks like it has a little bit of color to it, kind of like a concealer-y type situation, and the NARS one I usually use actually doesn't have any color to it at all, so we'll see how this goes. And if I'm looking down, that's because my mirror is down here, below my setup. If you guys could see the setup that I'm working with, you would be cracking up. I'm using a pepper shaker to hold my phone up right now. Okay, actually, now that I'm putting it on, it doesn't seem to really have any pigmentation to it at all. It's just kind of see-through. Which I'm fine with because I always tend to go over my eyelids with concealer anyway. So far so good. That feels really similar in consistency to the primer that I usually use on my eyes, so that's good. Next I'm going in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz, and this is in the color Dark Brown. First I'm just going to take my spoolie and kind of brush through them. I really need to get my eyebrows kind of reshaped, but you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that right now. So one thing I've been doing lately is actually bringing my eyebrow in a little bit further because I read that it thins out your nose a little bit without you even having to contour it necessarily. And I think it does work. It kind of tricks the eye into thinking that area is a little bit more narrow. That's pretty much all I'm going to do with this product. As you can see, it kind of does just do your entire eyebrow in one step. I would normally follow up with a brow gel to hold everything in place, but I didn't get a brow gel because this was like an emergency makeup kit. But actually I think e.l.f. makes one that's like $1, so that's kind of, if that's something that you need, that would be a good option for you. Okay, now let's get some foundation on because I am sick of looking at my face like this. So this is the Real Techniques sponge. Sorry if my camera's shaking, I keep hitting the table because I'm excited and it keeps shaking the camera, so I apologize. But upon opening it, I do find that it's a little bit more dense than my Beauty Blender, but it feels just as soft, if that makes sense. And once I got it wet, it definitely fluffed up just like the Beauty Blender. Some of the knockoffs I've seen don't seem to grow when they get wet, but this one did, so that's a good thing. This is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless, which is like a holy grail foundation for me, and it's only $8, which is amazing. This is in the shade 115 Ivory. Alright, here goes nothing. So far so good. If I fall in love with this sponge, it's gonna save me so much money because the Beauty Blender is like $20 and this is only like $7, and I actually only paid $3.50 for this one because they were having a sale at Walgreens. I'm really liking this flat side. I feel like it's actually making the foundation go on a little bit like more opaque than the Beauty Blender does. And that's one thing I love about sponges, is that you can really control your coverage. You can start sheer and you can really build it up. So far I think I'm a convert. Like, this is pretty dang good. I don't know what I've been doing. but I'll have to see how it goes with the concealer. And also, regarding the concealer, I'm purposely leaving my under eyes blank right now because I want to see how much coverage the concealer has on its own, because I've never tried it before. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which I'm super excited about, and I got the color Fair because even though I'm already super white, I was hoping that this would be light enough that I could still get some highlighting action going on here. This thing is freaking huge. Okay, so far so good on the concealer, I think, except that I feel like this is a lot fatter than the Beauty Blender, so it's a little bit harder to get up in these areas, but it still looks okay. I may have gone actually a little too light with the concealer, but that's okay. But I think as far as like covering the darkness under my eyes, which I do have like a crease right there, so there's a shadow, but if I like look up in the light, you can see that that darkness is actually gone, so it does a pretty good job. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back over my eyes and under eyes just to pick up any excess product before I set it, and then I'm going in, keep dropping stuff. Now I'm going in with the Coty Airspun Translucent Powder to set my eyes and my under eyes. This thing is giving me all kinds of trouble because it's a scab, because I've been picking at my face. Like if I have a blemish, I cannot not pick at it, so I mean that's kind of my own fault. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the sponge to set the rest of my face. I'm really liking this sponge, you guys. If you haven't seen this powder before, this is what it looks like. It's the Airspun Translucent Setting Powder. Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is the original formula in translucent, and I got it at Walgreens for like $7, and it's ride or die. Like it's so good, and it's so cheap. Also, this sponge came with like this really cool case, and my Beauty Blenders don't come with a case like this, so that's pretty handy. So as far as covering up this blemish, I don't have all my normal concealers with me. I usually use the Sonia Kashuk cream concealers from Target to cover up blemishes because they're just the best. I don't have that on me right now, and my concealer is too light, so it's gonna actually like highlight this and make it a lot more obvious, I feel like. So I'm gonna try to use my foundation and this brush to pack a little bit of color on to cover it up. We'll see. This is the Detailer brush from Real Techniques, and it's part of a limited edition collection, but I feel like I have this brush at home from a different collection. I'm not sure. That's probably as good as we're gonna get, to be honest, people. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and just carve out the bottom part of my eyebrows. I don't really care too much about carving out the rest unless I'm like really going somewhere fancy, but this is just kind of like a everyday full face. I mean, not everyone wears a full face every day, but... Now, normally I would do my eyeshadow now, but I look like a ghost right now because I just took all the color out of my face, so I'm gonna go ahead and bronze. And this is the Physicians Formula Argan Wear Ultra Nourishing Argan Oil Bronzer. And honestly, I only bought it because of the glitter. Like, look at that. That is so pretty. I don't even want to use it. Now, this one did come with a brush in it. If you're like trying to be really frugal, you could use that. But I'm going to use the multitask brush from Real Techniques. And the reason I picked up this brush is because it's the multitask brush, so I figured I could use it for blush and bronzer. Kill two birds with one stone. And actually that gold was literally just glitter, so it's like already gone. But that's okay, it was beautiful while it lasted. And I'm probably about to have glitter all over my face. So this is a lot more sheer than the Hourglass bronzer I usually use, but I do like it. It's definitely getting the job done. Got to bronze the 5 head, make it look a little bit more like a forehead. It smells really good too, if that's something you care about. Okay. Now that I bronze, I'm going to go ahead and do eyes, and then I'll come back to the rest of my face in a minute. I think this is the part that everyone's been waiting for anyways. This is what everyone's been talking about on my Facebook. This is the Jaclyn Hill palette that she did with Morphe, and it is so pretty. I'm going to start with That's weird. Okay, so it has all the colors on the back, but instead of coinciding with the color that's on the other side, it's like flipped. So the color I'm using first is going to be called In Light, and that's this color right here, and I'm just going to put it all over my eye as like a base to blend everything into. And I'm going to use the medium shadow brush from Real Techniques. That's actually got a little bit more of a sheen than I thought. I thought it was matte, but it's actually got a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's really pretty. So that color would make a really pretty inner corner highlight or brow bone highlight. So when I was putting it on, I kind of packed it on up here because I think it'll be really pretty there. Next, I'm going to use the e.l.f. blending brush. And next, I'm going to take the color Silk Cream, which is this color right here, as my transition shade in the crease. And I'm just going to do kind of a basic look today because I'm not going to the club or anything. Okay, this is not my favorite blending brush. Let me just say that for starters, but the pigmentation on these shadows is really good so far. The way that this brush is shaped, it's honestly, like, can you see that? It's less of a dome shape and more of a flat shape, so I feel like it would actually be really good for nose contouring, maybe? Okay, so the next color I'm going to use for my crease color, it's going to be this one right here, this third one, which is called Pooter. And I'm taking this on my Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. I'm actually just going to pick up my mirror so I can see better. I wish this brush was a little bit bigger, but it's not bad. This is the Real Techniques shading brush, and I'm going to use this just to deepen everything up just a little bit. And the color I'm going to use is this one right here, and it's called Mocha. Also going to smudge a little bit of this under my lower lash line. Normally I would use a pencil brush for this, but I do not have one, so this is what we're working with. Now I'm going to take this Morphe shader brush. It's the M167. It was $5 at Ulta. And the color I'm going to use on my lid, it's this one right here, and it's called Obsessed. And I'm just going to pack that on. The pigmentation on these is really, really good. Like, I'm not having to do very much work to get them to show up at all. When I get back home, I'm excited to use my Fix Plus and see if I can foil some of these shimmery shadows and see what they look like that way. That's one of my favorite looks. I mean, I guess we can get experimental. I have that NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I could see if that would work. Okay, I'm really not seeing that much of a difference, but I will try it with Fix Plus when I get home, and I will let you know what I think. So I think that's it as far as eyeshadow. I am going to do an inner corner highlight, but I'm going to do that with the actual highlight that I use on my cheekbones because I like for those to match for some reason. I don't know. Normally I would curl my eyelashes at this point, but I didn't even bother with buying an eyelash curler because I have one at home. Actually, I have like 3 at home. And also I'm going to be wearing false eyelashes, so I didn't really feel like that was necessary for me. But I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner first. This is the Jordana Fabuliner. It's like $3 at Walgreens, and I haven't used it in forever, but this used to be my ride or die back in the day. It's just a normal felt tip eyeliner pen, but from what I remember, it's super black and it doesn't dry out for a really long time, and it stays on all day. Lately, I haven't been doing wings or anything super extreme. I just like the look of like a really thin black line just to blend in my eyelashes and make my lashes look thicker. Okay, if I'm being so real with you right now, like, this is a lot stiffer than I remember. Okay, and now I'm just running this a little bit along my waterline, and I know people don't usually use like a liquid eyeliner in their waterline, but I just wanted to show you that you can. Number one, my eyes aren't like burning out of my face, and number two, that way you can save money and not buy a pencil. Or you could just buy a pencil and then not buy this. You can just do one or the other. You don't necessarily need both. Next, I'm just going to slap on a little bit of mascara. This is the Jordana Best Lash Extreme. I don't even know if you guys can see that because I have like no eyelashes, but that's what it's looking like so far. So I'm going to start with contour since I've already bronzed. I think I'm going to try this Real Technique, contour brush. Okay, this is a contour brush, so that's perfect. And I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette right here. And I remember this getting good reviews when it first came out. I've never tried it before. But this is supposed to be the one that's for fair skin, which as you can see, I'm working with here. So I'm just going to take a little bit because it looks kind of dark and I don't know how pigmented it is. I feel like it's maybe a little bit warmer than what I would normally go to, but it's not bad. Okay, so far so good. I am gonna, just because this is the first impressions video, I am gonna go in with that brush that I said I would want to try for nose contour and just see what happens. So if it's really just like the worst thing you've ever seen, don't judge me. It's a little intense, but you know what? The shape is not bad. I may have to go over it with my sponge that I use for my foundation just to kind of make it not so intense, but that was not bad. Tone that down just a smidge there. And I also like to contour just kind of where I bronze, just right around these parts of my face because your girl has a big forehead. So now I'm just going back in with my translucent powder to clean up my contour. Alright, so that's what we're working with so far. I am going to add some blush now, and then I'm going to do my lips, and then we'll go back and add lashes, and that should kind of pull everything together. So for blush, I'm using this Physicians Formula Happy Booster Blush in the color Natural. And I'm going to use the Multitask brush again from Real Techniques. Oh, that's pretty. I like that color. This one smells really good too. So far all the Physicians Formula products smell yummy. Unless, actually, you know what, it may be the bronzer that's still on this brush. I'm really excited about this next part. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, and I keep like seeing people use this and it looks so pretty, so I'm excited to try it. How beautiful that is. And this is in the color Precious Petals, and this was literally $5 at Walgreens. Now, I don't really have a good brush for highlighting, so I'm just going to use this domed shadow brush, and I'm going to hope for the best. Actually, no, I'm going to use the medium shadow brush because it's just a little bit wider and a little bit fluffier. Normally I like to use something that's a lot fluffier than this, so I feel like this is going to make it like really intense, but that's okay. That's pretty. I like that color. It is a little bit stripy because of the brush that I use, but that's okay. We're working with it. This is one that you definitely have to build up, but honestly that's not a bad thing because sometimes you do a first stripe of a highlight and it's just like bam, and then it's really hard to tone it down. So I do actually like that this is buildable. Now I'm going in with that detail brush again, and I'm going to use that to pack this highlight onto the inner corner of my eyes. Alright, now we're glowing. We're going to do some lips and some lashes, and then we will be all done. So today I think I'm feeling a little bit of like a rosy lip, so that's what I'm going to do. I feel like it'll really complement the eyes. This is the Catrice Lip Liner Long Lasting Lip Pencil in That's What Rose Would Do. I don't know what Rose they're referring to, but I hope it's Rose from the Golden Girls because she's like the best Rose of all time. This is pretty creamy for a drugstore liner. It's a wooden liner, but it doesn't feel super dry like a lot of those do. I used to use the NYC eyeliners and lip liners back in the day, like the wooden pencils, and I used to literally like scrape myself because they were so sharp and like splintery and dry. Did anyone else use those? The Jordana lip liners I actually still do like a lot better than this. They're the retractable ones. They're so creamy, and I think they're a little bit cheaper than this actually. The only reason I didn't buy those is because I already have a bunch of them at home, but I still recommend those over this one from Catrice. And my favorite colors are Radiant Rose and Tawny. Tawny is like the best lip liner ever, and it's like $2. For lipstick, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Last Lip Color in Mauve Out of Here. Okay, that's like super bright. That's a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. So I think I'm going to mix it with the nude that I have to tone it down a little bit. This is the same formula of lipstick, the Wet n Wild Mega Last. This is in Bare It All. And it's just kind of a nudie brownie color. Now, just to finish off the lips, I'm going to go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in Tiramisu because it's winter and my lips are dry, girl. Now, again, if you're just balling on a budget and you're trying to throw together your emergency makeup kit, I would say instead of getting like liner, lipstick, and all that stuff, I would just get one good gloss that's got a little bit of color to it and you're good to go with that. And the NYX Butter Glosses are probably my favorite gloss ever. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with this NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray, and then I'm going to apply my lashes off camera and I will check back with you guys when I'm done. This stuff smells kind of like window cleaner. So for lashes, I use the Ardell Wispies, which are like my favorite lashes ever, and then the glue that came with it was the Duo Clear White Glue. And I have always been a fan of the Duo Lash Glue, but I prefer the kind that you brush on instead of the kind that you squeeze out of the bottle because it's really messy. But it's still a great glue, and obviously these lashes are like ride or die. So this is the finished look that I made with my little emergency makeup kit. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think down below and let me know what future videos you guys want to see. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!